Are you afraid of the dark? These 3 horror stories will make you afraid of what lurks in the shadows. The old abandoned house on the edge of town had always given the locals a sense of unease. Stories circulated that a family had been murdered there years ago, and their ghosts still roamed the halls. One night, a group of teenagers dared each other to spend the night inside the house. They brought sleeping bags and flashlights and settled in for what they thought would be a fun adventure. As the night wore on, strange things began to happen. Doors creaked open and shut, even though there was no wind. Shadows moved across the walls, even though there was no one there. Suddenly, they heard a blood-curdling scream coming from upstairs. The teenagers scrambled to their feet and raced towards the stairs, but something was blocking their path. It was a ghostly figure, with a pale face and hollow eyes. The teenagers tried to run past it, but it grabbed them with icy hands and pulled them back. One by one, they disappeared into the darkness, never to be seen again. The old abandoned house remained empty, a place where no one dared to enter after dark. The locals whispered that the ghosts of the murdered family still haunted the halls, seeking revenge on anyone foolish enough to cross their path. Number 2. Jenna was an experienced hiker, but she had never been to this part of the forest before. As she wandered deeper into the woods, the trees grew thicker and the path grew harder to follow. She soon realized that she was lost. She tried to retrace her steps, but the forest had changed, and the landmarks she had passed before were nowhere to be found. As night fell, Jenna realized that she was in trouble. She had no food or water, and she was miles from civilization. She found a clearing and decided to make camp, hoping that someone would find her in the morning. But as the night wore on, Jenna realized that she was not alone. She heard strange noises coming from the darkness, and she could feel eyes watching her from the shadows. She tried to keep calm, but her fear grew as the noises grew louder. Something was out there, something hungry and dangerous. Jenna tried to run, but she was too disoriented to find her way out of the forest. She heard footsteps behind her, and she knew that whatever was following her was getting closer. As she stumbled through the forest, Jenna realized that she was being herded, like a sheep being led to slaughter. She was trapped, with nowhere to go and no one to help her. In the morning, the search party found Jenna's campsite, but she was nowhere to be found. They searched the forest for days, but they never found her. Some say that she was taken by the creatures that haunt the forest, a warning to anyone who dared to venture too deep into the woods. Number 3. Cassie had always been afraid of being alone. She hated the quiet, the emptiness that surrounded her when she was by herself. But one day, Cassie's worst nightmare came true. Her parents went away for the weekend, leaving her alone in the house. Cassie tried to keep busy, but she couldn't shake the feeling that she was being watched. As night fell, Cassie retreated to her room, hoping that she could sleep away her fears. But as she lay in bed, she heard a strange noise coming from downstairs. Cassie tried to ignore it, but the noise grew louder, and she realized that someone was in the house with her. She heard footsteps, creaking floorboards, and the sound of someone breathing. Cassie was paralyzed with fear. She tried to call the police, but her phone was dead. She was trapped, with no way to escape. As the footsteps grew closer, Cassie realized that she had to hide. She crawled under her bed and held her breath, waiting for the intruder to leave. But the intruder didn't leave. Cassie heard the door to her room creak open, and she knew that she had been found. She saw a shadowy figure standing in the doorway, staring down at her. Cassie tried to scream, but the intruder covered her mouth. She felt cold, clammy hands on her skin, and she knew that she was in the hands of a stranger. In the morning, Cassie's parents found her in her room, shaking and traumatized. She never spoke of the incident again, but she was never able to shake the fear of being alone. And that concludes our journey through the spine-chilling tales of horror. I hope you found them as terrifying as I did. Remember, these stories are just the tip of the iceberg, and there are countless more out there to make your blood run cold. If you enjoyed these stories, please give this video a like and share it with your friends. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more bone-chilling tales of terror. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. But until then, sleep tight and don't let the monsters under your bed get you.